Und da sind wir wieder zurück. Ich habe jetzt dieses Flackern ausgeschaltet. Ich hoffe, es ist jetzt besser. Es ist schon ein bisschen störend, es war zwar authentischer, aber naja, es stört halt extrem. Und ja, wir haben noch einige Sachen zum Suchen. Fangen wir mal mit der River Church an. Jetzt gehe ich einmal die Liste durch, die ich da gemacht habe, von oben nach unten.
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic.
Ja, schön. So, dann haben wir noch den Van. Okay. K vielleicht? Oh, okay.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
Das Rauschen und so weiter, das ist nicht von mir, das ist so vom Video aus, gell? Nur so als Info.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. And when I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And I... Excuse me. Is there a bin? Yeah, I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
Aber ich will jetzt was versuchen. Ja, genau. Das wollte ich haben.
Yes. I got to Glasgow. I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone and then headed back. Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car. When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
So. Okay. Ah, okay, da haben wir was.
Difference is, she's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Aha, ups, da haben wir noch was.
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
So, dann drücke ich jetzt die Halskette. Bringt nichts. Ah. Dann Glasgow endlich.
Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
So, dann suchen wir jetzt Carl. So, da gibt's mehr Eindrücke.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
Und dann suchen wir gleich die Nähe, oder wie das heißt?
I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and We split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Family können wir nachher vielleicht auch noch.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
So. Na, da haben wir noch wieder was. Oh, ein neuer Song.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. They get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane. I mean, not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house.
Ja, der Rock, das
Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel? Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Das war schon, okay. Eins noch. Auch ein kurzes.
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
So. Diane haben wir jetzt auch. Suchen wir. Was könnte man noch suchen? Ouija. 2 Sachen. Können wir durchstreichen. Ska. Portsmouth. Scheiße. Schon langsam. Das haben wir schon, gell? Letztes Mal gehabt, ja. Jeans. Ja. Paddington. Oh, schon langsam neigen sich meine Notizen dem Ende zu. Es gibt aber noch wichtige große Sachen wie das Dollhaus. Genau, da haben wir schon einige Sachen wieder.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic we left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Your parents. Okay, da haben wir wieder was.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
Okay.
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
Worst year. Ah, okay, da haben wir wieder was.
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Okay, jetzt suche ich mal. Ups. Na? Suchen wir mal das.
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happened some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
So.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
Okay. Das schreibt man doch so, oder? Bin ich jetzt blöd? Komisch. Rapunzel.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
8 Sekunden. gefunden, naja.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
Aha, card.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
So, vielleicht Grimm. Das wäre aber lustig jetzt. Nein. Gut, ich hab's versucht. Fairy Tale. Ah, schau, da haben wir wieder was gefunden.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me. I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me.
Okay, real mother schaue ich mal noch an.
Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale.
Oder Stepmother in dem Fall.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Oh Gott, so. Stepmother. Was habe ich jetzt was gekriegt? NP? Ja, NP. Real Mother. Jetzt reicht's mal gleich. Okay.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah.
Ah, Sarah.
Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Aber. Sarah. Okay. Na. Nein. Na, wollte ich schon nehmen. Okay. Cat. Ah.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
Huh?
No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
Okay, also sind die Mörder dann laut ihr?
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor.
Das habe ich schon mal woanders gesehen. Das haben wir in einem anderen Video schon gehabt. In einem Eve-Video.
Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
Ah. Knock-Code. Das war bei Eve, haben wir das gehabt. Da war das. Ich weiß zwar nicht, was ich da mache. Eve Code. Knock. Was? Chit-Chat? Nope. Knock code. Hangs up. Ich brauche was über Knock. Das schreibe ich jetzt auch. No. Aha. Das ist offline. Wer bin ich? Jetzt wird's komisch. Sie sagen zu mir, Sarah, war das nicht die Tochter gerade? Was könnte man noch suchen dabei? Beach. Haben wir noch nicht geschaut. Gibt's auch nichts. Durchstreichen. Police.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
Okay. Was Was haben wir dann noch? 7 Sekunden, 4. Okay, das geht sich noch aus, bevor der
They said
Part
it
zu
was
Ende
food
ist.
poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them. When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but...
So, ich bin den Part, ich versuche zum rausfinden diesen Morse-Code da. Weil das wird ja nicht drin sein. Ja, genau. Und ja, wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Bis dann, euer Zlabus. Tschüss, Dankeschön.